guys, your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference or distinguish the difference between a visual act in your imagination and an actual act in your visible world. It doesn't know the difference between the two. So if you can create an imaginal act in your imagination that's as real as your 3D world, then it has to come true because it is just as real, and the subconscious mind does not know the difference. And I have an excerpt out of this book that I wanted to share with you that coincides with that, and I really, really love this. This is out of You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor, which is awesome book. And I'll put the description in the link below if you guys want to go ahead and get it yourself, or just I'm gonna start getting into this book. I really love it. Okay, mental money. That's the title of this chapter. Begin immediately to play a mental game with yourself. Get into the habit of visualizing yourself in the possession of great wealth. Think of some of the things you would do with that money. So instead of just imagining that you have all this money, okay, or receiving the money, you can create an imaginal clip to where you already have the money, but you're spending it. What would you spend that money on? So go through some visual acts in your mind and make it really, really real to you in your imagination of spending the money or giving it away or whatever. Just come up with your own and be creative and make it fun. Okay. Think of some of the things you would do with that money and then mentally start doing them, okay? Here it is right here. Since your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an actually doing something and visualizing yourself doing it, this exercise will very quickly help you to develop a prosperity consciousness. Remember, it is an absolute law of your being that you must have something mentally before you will ever have it physically. Understand also that everyone talks to themselves mentally. In fact, some people even do it out loud. Therefore, whenever you are carrying on your private conversations with yourself, always talk about how good it feels to be wealthy. Congratulate yourself on becoming wealthy and hear others congratulating you as well. You should realize that although this might appear to be a game you are playing, you are doing one of the wisest things you can possibly do, for you are working from a higher to a lower potential. You are embarking on a program of self-development. You are about to learn that there is much more to yourself than meets the eye, and you must apprehend this hidden factor of your personality. If you are ever to develop yourself properly, in truth, you will never see the greatest part of your being because it is non-physical in nature. In fact, you will soon become aware that you are constantly living simultaneously on 3 distinct planes of being. You are spiritual, 1, and you have an intellect, 2, and you live in a physical body, 3. Okay, to understand this abstract better, you must keep in mind that you are living simultaneously on 3 distinct planes of existence. The spiritual plane of thoughts is the highest potential. So if you live in the spiritual plane, that's the highest potential where you're creating things with your imagination. The intellectual plane of ideas is the middle potential. And the physical plane of results is the lowest. So if you're living physically and you're reacting off everything you see in your 3D world as that's a concrete fact, that's just the way your life is, and you have to grow from there, then that's the lowest potential. So if you rise above that by living by the law of assumption, is the spiritual plane. So you never have any worries. So if you ever have any problems, or if you ever want something, all you have to do is assume that you don't have that problem anymore, or you have these things that you want, and you live with that law that you already have it. So it's really, really awesome. Okay, so therefore, by doing what I have suggested you do, you are merely using the divine nature to choose the thoughts, i.e., money is good. I love people and I use money. Money is a servant. I am the master, which will build an idea. In our case, the idea happens to be that of great personal wealth or true financial success. Be very aware, however, that ideas such as the idea of financial success never form by themselves. The human personality must always enter into the process, thinking the thoughts, which can then be used to build the idea. So when you put yourself in the new conception, that's what I like about this is it's telling you when you use the law of assumption that you start building the idea. The idea builds it with your subconscious mind, and you start getting ideas from that new conception of yourself. So it'll be like effortless. You won't really have to do anything, because I don't really believe that you could imagine having $100 million and just do nothing and lay on a couch and it's just going to come to you. I'm not saying that it can't come to you, but I believe in most instances that if you're just sleeping on a couch 24 hours a day and you're imagining being wealthy, you're going to get these ideas. I believe that you're not going to be laying on that couch anymore. You're going to get up and you're going to start doing things, and things are going to start coming to you. Phones are going to start ringing. You're going to pick up the phone, but you're going to enjoy yourself doing it because this new conception of yourself is going to get you that $100 million or whatever it is, that wealth, that relationship. I mean, these things these ideas are going to build within you. And that's what coincides with this. That's why I really love this. Okay. So the highest form of creation, it is the highest form of creation. So by holding this beautiful idea or picture of financial success in your mind, you will ultimately be able to cause the idea to manifest itself in your life, i.e. in your results. As you progress through this book, you will see how this actually occurs. So I really encourage you guys to get this book and read this. This is really awesome. Now let's take a couple of steps backwards. You will remember that I wrote in a previous paragraph that you are working from a higher to lower potential. That's the physical plane and the spiritual plane is the high and then the low. Okay. What I meant by this is that you are working from thoughts, which is spirit, to an idea, which is intellectual, to the thing, which is physical, rather than working from the thing, physical, to the thoughts, ideas. So you want to work from your thoughts, your ideas, to things, as opposed to your things, thoughts, and then ideas. So as you have probably done in the past, and as the vast majority of people will continue to do in the future, that is to say, most people will look at a result in their life and then let that result dictate the thoughts. They will then use that to build their idea. For example, if they see their bank account is empty as a result, they will choose to think thoughts of lack or loss. And then they will use those thoughts to build the idea of poverty. However, since the idea they are holding in their mind must manifest in their future results, they are actually bringing about a repeat performance of the very thing which they say they don't want, namely an empty bank account. It thus becomes a self-doom fulfilling cycle, which they are living. And clearly, this is not the way our Maker has intended for us to live. You might very well be saying to yourself that this is an absurd argument. For if a bank account is empty, it's empty. And it just isn't being realistic to look at it, an empty bank account, and then to visualize great wealth. But I want you to know, this is a very kind of reasoning which perpetuates poverty and keeps poor people impoverished. So you must assume, so what he's basically saying is that if to live on that physical realm, you're looking at your bank account as being empty, and then your thoughts and your ideas are coming from your physical world of not having any money. So your thoughts are going to keep recreating poverty unless you change that and you visualize a different number in there, even though you have $0 or $5 or whatever it is, or if you're in the negative. Don't see that. See a picture where you have $5 million, and you'll start getting ideas that'll start creating that in your life, and phones will start ringing. You'll start picking up phones. Things will start happening. It's a law of assumption. It's actually changing the concept of yourself at the same exact time that you are this person of great wealth, even though you're not at that time. So it's fun also to pretend, to use this as a fun game you can use, of pretending like you're a millionaire when you're not, and you'll start going after things. Phones will start ringing. You'll start picking up phones. You start meeting people. You start talking to people. And all of a sudden, all these things of all this networking will start occurring. And all these people start contacting you, wanting to know who you are. And they start giving you money. And you'll start providing services, whatever it is. Whatever the new conception is that you want, or new relationships or anything like that. It all works. But anyways, I just wanted to get this out. I really love this chapter. And I'm going to show you guys again what this is. I'm going to leave the link in the description. It is You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. Love this. And I hope you guys love this. And leave your comments below if you enjoyed this and if you want me to keep reading out of this book. All right, guys. Thank you.